This is the Weeb Lounge, and I'm going straight to hell after this one. Flames, fire, burning. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. We'll get through it. This top 5 is about anime approved by Alabama. I'm Nick, and this is the top 5 incest anime. Yes, there's a top 5 for that and others too. Probably going to be the most uncomfortable video we've ever shot. But this is kind of a big anime thing, right? The little sister and everything. It's this whole genre, I guess, stems from the little sister trope. Typically in the past, little sisters were kind of considered the reliable, cute, happy, fun character. You know, nothing really much more to it. And then stuff happened. Yeah, it's been around for a bit, but recently, much more so. So instead of feeling guilt-ridden, we're just going to go straight to our number 5. All right, so our choice for our number 5 is Eromanga Sensei. Yeah, that sounds like a really perverted title, but in actuality, you know, it has its moments, but it's not actually that bad. This is lower on the scale of the incest anime, barely approved by Alabama, I guess. Basically, this show is about Masamune, and he is a aspiring novelist, right? And he's having troubles trying to get through his deal, trying to get his books published and stuff. And eventually, of course, he gets published and starts a little series. And his little sister, Sagri, hasn't been his sister for very long. The backstory with them is he's from the father, she's from the mother. They get, you know, it's a second marriage or whatever. They get married and then they go off on their honeymoon and die. Okay. Which leaves them two at home by themselves. Now, Sagri, she is a young, cute, talented, smart, shut-in. Hikikomori. She literally does not leave her room for like a whole year. The brother is trying to write these novels and such to pay the bills, etc., and to take care of himself and his sister, who like hasn't said a word to him for a year, locked away, and you know, you bring her food, sit it by the door. I mean, like traumatic event type stuff, right? Well, it turns out Sagiri is actually an incredibly talented artist. So much so, she's kind of getting this legendary status without him knowing, without the brother knowing. And she's actually the illustrator for his novels. All right. Well, anyways, all that's kept a secret. It's kind of this weird thing. And the brother eventually breaks into her room and truths be told and blah, blah, blah. Odd situation gets a little funnier, a little better, a little more lighthearted instead of like the tragic death of parents locking away for you. I mean, yeah, you know. And when them two start finally showing an actual relationship, not in that way or anything, they start coming across other characters. There's two other novelists. One of them is Yamada Elf, a young blonde girl who is a bestseller and kind of has that rich girl hoity-toity kind of thing or whatever, but it almost like she's writing her novels for escapism. And of course, you know, she falls in love with Masamune, and which, of course, you know, this could be a harem anime too on top of, yeah. And her name's Yamada Elf because, you know, she's got pointy ears. She kind of plays it off, and it's just her character. And then you also have Muramasa, who is another novelist. She is kind of clueless about the world, I guess. She's a #1 top seller. Her works are legendary, but she's doesn't have much common sense, I guess. not really much about the regular world. And she gets so lost in her writing, like she could be just doing a random whatever thing, and just get all of a sudden she gets an idea, right? And she has to go write this idea down. She has to write the plot line out. She has to do this now, ignoring the world around her. Nobody can talk to her. Nobody can interact with her. Nothing. She has to write it down, and it could be days or weeks that she's gone. Then once she's done, she'll come out and be like, "Hey, I'm done." Whatever. Basically, this one made it number 5 on our list because the relationship is a little lighthearted. It doesn't mature to anything super serious, but it's all there. And there's a lot of oddities that kind of develop along the way. Arrow Manga Sensei has a few arrow moments, but nothing terribly too bad. It gets our number 5 because of that, and because it's more lighthearted, emotional comedy for the most part. Now, if he... I'm going out. The number 4 pick is a comedy, but it takes the arrow portion of it about as far as you can get without getting X-rated. It's Kiss X Sis. Well, I can feel the heat on my feet here. I'll be on fire here soon. It's all right. Number 4, Kiss X Sis. As the title implies, believe it. It is what it is. In this one, you basically have 2 parents, right? You have the father who brings along a male, and then you have the mother who brings along 2 girls. They end up getting married, and you could summarize it like a pervy Brady Bunch. It'll really make you look at the Brady Bunch in a different way now. Oh no. Anyways, Keita, he's the main protagonist here. And he's like this reliable, helpful kind of guy. Maybe a little too helpful because he puts himself in situations that didn't need to be. And he kind of made this promise a long time ago to his stepsisters that he wants to marry them both. And it's a reoccurring thing, right? Of course, can't marry them both. Yeah, whatever. But then you have the sisters, okay? You have Akko and Riko, who are just polar opposites of each other. Akko is intelligent, not terribly good at athletics, and is open, popular, and outgoing. Whereas Riko, she is not very good at her academics, but is very athletic, very skilled in that manner. But she's also fairly shy. And these are twin sisters. They both look identical, except that Riko has a bandage under one of her eyes. This one, I think? Yeah. But anyways, them 2 want him, right? Like, badly. Their daily routine is pervy as all hell. It's, yeah, this is meant to be a comedy with a lot of Eki arrow moments that never quite go there, but it'd be damned if they did. I mean, watch the show and you're like, how does he nod and they nod? Why? Yeah. And then if Keita gets any kind of alcohol in his system, like, you take like a thimbleful of alcohol in this guy and all of a sudden he's super pervert. I don't get that trope. I mean, there's people that get drunk off drinking a can of Coke in anime. I mean, come on. But anyways, this one hit our number 4, not higher, because it goes to like a comedic, erotic extreme. There's other characters, there's other development. Keita actually is dating his teacher for a while there. Yeah. And the teacher's sister likes him too, so it's more harem anime too on top of it. But the main 2 characters, of course, are Akko and Riko. Yeah, just watch that one. This one gets a full thumbs up from Alabama. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that. Okay. I won't want to go into more detail because this one can get raunchy. Not X-rated, but it kind of should be. It's up to you if you want to watch this one. Now, the next one on our list Our number three, Yosuga no Sora, this one does have some X-rated moments in it. It's a late night anime, I believe. It didn't get that rating, but there's scenes in it where it should be. And this is a kind of extreme one. You know, I'm starting to wonder if my feet are actually getting hotter and on fire, or maybe it's diabetes. I don't know. Either or, I'm in trouble. Anyways, the number three pick, Yosuga no Sora, it kind of just revolves around two characters. You got Haruka, which is the brother, and you have Sora, the sister. And these two are fraternal twins, which is going to make things a little worse in a moment. Haruka, he's like this, he's an honest, kind person, overprotective of his sister and such. And he tries to have relationships, normal relationships with all these other girls, all these other schoolgirls and such, in multiple different arcs from the old visual novels. Sora is, you know, she's a really, really beautiful girl, doll-like in appearance, fancy dress, but she can act shy, she seems frail. And these two are living under their grandparents' house on their own, just them two. The grandparents aren't there. And the reason they're there is because of the parents died. Dead parents is an anime trope. I mean, it is what it is. But anyways, from these events and other traumatic events, Sora starts developing feelings for Haruka. And Haruka seems to kind of want to deny it and everything. It's not proper, it's not the right thing. They don't live in Alabama, so they can't do anything about it, but eventually they do. In the most extreme way. They start going at it like rabbits toward the end there. Yeah. Don't watch this around kids at all. Unless you're in Alabama, I guess. No, don't, no. It gets to a point where, you know, of course they're trying to keep this secret. I mean, who the hell wouldn't? But they decide to go at it in the middle of the front door. Now, right in the doorway. And of course, timing be it as it is, there's some of their schoolmates decide to show up while they're in the middle of that, swing the door open, and see exactly what they're up to. Yeah. I portrayed it as something fairly simple, fairly straightforward, but in actuality, the series is more complicated than that. There's more story arcs, there's all these other girls that he tries to have relationships with outside of acknowledging his sister and all this other stuff, and it's one of those that you kind of have to watch. It goes from being, okay, it's kind of harem-ish, not quite, but different story arcs, developing characters, all the way to Yeehaw, Alabama. Son of a... All right, well, yeah. Anyways, if you want an anime to blame for all of this, right? The one that kind of mainstreamed it all, our number 2 pick, Teemo. Yep, but I'm seeing flames. There's fire. It's fine. This is what it is. Number 2, Teemo is kind of credited with giving this incest anime genre, I guess, a huge boost in popularity. Ever since this show, you always have the tension between the main character, whoever it is, and their sister or whatever. There's always like this little hidden tension, innuendo, and it's probably all because of this one. This show was just incredibly popular for a long period of time. First off, you got Kasuke, the brother. And, you know, he's kind of just a going slow through life, just wants to be normal. But, you know, he can put on a serious face and take charge when needed. He's got that kind of personality. And then you have Kirino, the sister, who is a very exceptional person. She is incredible in athletics. She is incredibly smart, super beautiful, so much that she works part-time as a model. And unbeknownst to anyone else, she is a massive otaku. hidden troves of anime related goods hidden in her room that her father very much disapproves of. The father doesn't believe in any of this otaku crap, not allowed in the house, blah, blah, blah. So she has to hide it and be secretive about it. Well, Kyosuke basically ends up kind of stumbling onto one and confronts her with it. One thing leads to another, and he ends up kind of being put in this advisor role. She needs advice about something, she'll ask her, and when the anime starts, Kirino's always giving him the cold shoulder, like almost like she doesn't want nothing to do with him at all. And it goes from that coldness to starting to warm up. Tsundere, I guess, starts warming up, warming up, warming up until it gets far, right? And the only other character that's really important is Ruri, Kuroneko. She's this girl that dresses in kind of like this gothic Lolita cat-eared cosplay outfit, right? And she tries to take on the personality of like, being all hoity-toity, holier than thou kind of attitude. But in reality, she's kind of socially awkward. She's smart. She's reliable. She's a good person. That dress up is kind of like her escapism, I guess. It's actually our favorite character of the series. It's just she's more down to earth and reliable and normal compared to the other two, I guess, if you can say that. Basically, this series tries to hit every little nuance there is. The Kyosuke, he tries to go out with Kuroneko. They break up. It's all this other kind of stuff. And one thing leads to another, and toward the end, there's a scene where the brother and sister are having this mock wedding. But it's weird the way they do it. It's like, okay, they have this mock wedding. Now that's done. We're back to a normal life. They just drop it all. It's almost as if Kirino had like this weird anime otaku fantasy, and it started affecting her like a disease, and they had to kind of go through the hoops to cure her, I guess, at the cost of Kyosuke's relationship with Kuroneko. It's almost like the biggest sister cock block of all time, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe I have to watch it again to really kind of figure out what the heck happened, because it just gets weird. I don't know. I just don't. But yeah, if you're looking for a show to blame for this whole outbreak of incestual ambiguity and stuff in just about every anime ever made anymore, blame this one. And normally that would kind of give it the number one slot, right? But I had to give the number one slot to some anime that takes things more seriously, more psychological. A story and plot driven advance to how the heck did this happen? How did Alabama happen? It gets our number one pick. It's Koya Kaze. And it's actually really well done. All right, we're at number one. The fires have died down. Hopefully this makes up for it at least a little bit, right? Our number one pick is Koya Kaze. And I have to give this one a lot more credit because it's more plot and story driven. It's not meant to be a comedy. It's not meant to be like an eki anime or erotic anime or anything like that. It's meant to be a story driven show. And your first character is Koshiro. He's kind of like your standard office worker, right? He works for his father's marriage arrangement company. He's an older guy, late 20s, and nothing really special about him. Doesn't really stand out, right? Well, it kind of opens up with him being dumped by his girlfriend near like an amusement park or something, right? And he kind of runs into this girl from high school that he immediately just kind of has a thing for, right? Like love at first sight type of thing, right? That happens to be Nanoka. Nanoka, bright, cheery, kind of typical high school girl. Bit of an age difference for sure. And they instantly have like this little connection, right? Well, the backstory with these two, yes, they're brother and sister, but they didn't know it. they've been separated for years and years and years. They don't recognize each other at all. The parents got divorced, they live separately, and they just haven't had any interaction whatsoever. That all changes, obviously, because the father sees them two together and they're supposed to meet or something. And he's like, hey, you found her. Who? Oh, sister? Really? Oh, boy. That's how it kind of starts, through pure accident and coincidence. And there's not like a comedic turn of it either. It's pure drama. It's not just, haha, tripped and fell in a taco like the other one. No, it's nothing like that. What this show tries to do is try to take a serious undertone of how something like this could possibly happen. They both develop their characters. How does he go from accepting it or rejecting it? What does she do in response? Does she have the same feelings? It's all this kind of, they're brother and sister, but it's almost as if they're complete strangers coming together. And this, the brother knows, it's improper, not supposed to do it. He tries to move away. He doesn't want to acknowledge this. It's not supposed to happen that way, but eventually, as it goes, it does. And yeah, but that's why I give this anime the #1 slot, because it's psychological. It doesn't just evolve via a story. It tries to get into your head, right? It's like, how the heck does something like this happen? Is there a basis for it? Is there a meaning to it? And this tries to address that through a really good, well-written storyline. So, Koya Kaze is our #1. And with that, and the fire is dying down, hopefully I survive for another video. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. We're streaming over on twitch.tv/the Weeb Lounge. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to talk anime with you. Been streaming a little bit of Call of Duty, but we're planning on like some Alta Ryza, some Fate Grand Order once they get some more events going. And we'll see you in the next video.